Ready, no?
Of course, always.
Okay, so let's start with a short history. So I'm really curious. How did you get into Aliz? So what is your history?
So I'm always telling to people that my LinkedIn is pretty boring. Just one line with Aliz. I had a friend from the college, from the university times, that we attended in the same student hostel, and he started a company. He was a founder in Aliz, and he introduced me to István, the founder CEO, and we had a really great online conversation about the future of technology and how it will affect organizations. Back then, we wanted to sell Workspace, Google Workspace. Actually, that was one of my first tasks with Aliz, and we talked a lot about the effect of real-time collaboration on Google Docs, on documents, and how it will change people behave in the organization, how they collaborate, how they do meetings, etc. It was fun times. Yes.
What platform was like on?
I don't know. I couldn't recall, but I'm sure it was online. Maybe MSN Messenger. I don't know.
Nice. By the way, what is your favorite value of Aliz?
Wow. Transparency.
Okay.
That I loved. And I think we get this feedback more and more from people from different culture. We just started to work together. An Irishman, Tom, is our chairman, and his immediate feedback was that, oh, guys, you are very direct. But I think it's effective, and it comes from the engineering culture. You have to be effective and efficient and try to avoid unnecessary circles. And it gives us, I think, an efficiency gain.
Who are like those customers or like the preferred customers by Aliz?
Our best customer is someone who loves to receive quality technology outcome. I think so. Someone who value and think in the long term and plan ahead how to conduct digitalization. We can be a really good partner from strategic perspective if we can lay a plan, a roadmap, and together we can reach this AI-driven enterprise vision if it's there. Someone who is willing to receive our feedback if there is a feedback about the organization, the culture, the processes, because normally we give feedback, and there are customers who are receptive to that, and there are others who less. So our ideal customer is someone who's willing to take the feedback and then the risk to change. What
is the unique value what we are bringing to our customers in Aliz?
I think a professional viewpoint. We can be trustworthy, direct in some cases, and we have deep knowledge in the Google Cloud ecosystem, as well as in the domain of data and AI. And when we start to work together, we always offer the highest quality.
Do you see any difference that like how customers from Europe are like behaving comparing with the APAC customers, and what are like, I don't know, those 2-3 points which you would emphasize?
What I feel as a difference is the kind of a risk-taking appetite. In Europe, I feel that people are more cautious about changes, about taking risk in terms of new technology, while in Asia, and especially in Indonesia, they love the leapfrogging methods. Indonesia is one of the highly digitalized nations in terms of smartphone usage. So they have huge unicorns offering services for these 280 million people. So they are ready to think in digitalization, digitalizing processes, workflows, etc. While in Europe, we are a bit more cautious. We have more regulations that we need to fulfill. That's why there are more paperwork, red tape around certain decisions. I think that's our biggest difference.
Can you relate to your biggest failure in Aliz? And you can give us an example?
We have many. And I think I'm proud of those failures, especially if the end is something a successful outcome. So we tried to develop product at least 6 times. We tried to create a business process management tool when it was cool, like 10 years ago. Then numerous cloud-based platforms, frameworks that we invested a lot of money and time and energy. And eventually we ended up having Rabbit as a successful product. But before that, we had at least 7 attempts. But that is from a product development perspective. But for instance, geographical expansion. So we started a business in Italy because we felt there is a huge opportunity in the Italian market. That was a time when the government and the EU together decided that they will invest into Italian digitalization. So we said, okay, this is a time, and Google also invited us to be a partner in that region. And we started to build up an office there. We hired people there. And then after a year of unsuccessful lending, we closed the office. And I think we pulled out too early. And that was an especially painful experiment, because I believe if we keep up with another 1-2 years, it would have been successful. It's just we set ourselves a window for success, which was a bit too short. But we had our lessons learned, and next time we will do differently.
What makes you the most proud in the last, I don't know, couple of years? What was like the biggest achievement in the past couple of years?
One is opening the Indonesian office. So we had business in in Southeast Asia region for 7 or 8 years now. So we understood, I think, the culture and how we have to conduct business there. We have clients there. But opening another engineering hub far away from our existing engineering culture was a very risky experiment. But we found the right people. We found the right key people there who helped us grow. A fantastic engineering manager sitting in Jakarta, and he helped us to build up the team. And now I think we bridged the differences in terms of time zone, culture, etc. And it's a successful integrated part of the company right now.
What do you think about the AI buzz?
I think it's a fascinating technology, no question. But I think people overestimate the short-term consequences and underestimate the long-term consequences. So change management is always very tough on a societal level as well as organizational level. So the technology is there. We don't know surely how or on what use cases shall we use it. It's a foundational technology. People underestimate the changes needed in the mindset and thinking and the organizational structures and processes. You should pay more attention to that.
How do you see that, like, in this whole fast changing environment, how Aliz can remain relevant in this market?
So before that, it was really important to have an army of developers, have an army of coders that we can place to customers, and they just kind of bought time of the knowledge. And right now, they need to get their business problems solved, which is kind of an outcome-based pricing. It's a very different business model. So we need to adapt and learn very quickly and listen to what our customers tells to us, what the market tells to us, what Google tells to us, how we have to behave. But I think the biggest change from business model perspective will be this outcome-based approach. So when we go to a customer, we need to understand their pains, and we need to give a price tag how we solve that business problem. It shouldn't be an open-ended contract or conversation.
What do you see how our company culture is impacting these changes, or like it's having any kind of impact on this innovation or parts?
From the very beginning, learning was an important aspect of our culture. We encourage experimentation and we avoid judging people based on their failures. I think this is the mindset that will lead to quick adaptation, to try new things. And we always act as it's kind of a team. If you don't know, if we are venturing into new depths, new areas, we act as a team and trying to find who is the right person who can venture into that area.
You talked about the fact that we're a global company, at least we're like in APAC and Europe. We're like working with multiple cultures across the globe, internally and also externally with some customers. What do you see that like, what is the role of our recruitment team in order to be able to sustain this innovation, diversity, and expertise within Aliz?
They have to create a brand about Aliz that fascinates people. They need to tell a story about us. What do we want? What kind of change we would like to conduct on the world? And then they have to filter the people very carefully for cultural fit. And it's a tough job. It's so much easier to ask about professional background than to check the cultural fit. For instance, I always love to chat with people about books they read, because it means that they love to learn new things, and you can get a really good recommendation from a stranger, and also about learning and the reception to feedback. So I think recruitment is an important gatekeeper. We are not a big company. We have a boutique size, but our added value can be multiplied by great people.
Mm-hmm. In the past 4 years, we were like growing quite significantly, not just from customer size, but like also from geographical perspective, which is good. But on the other side, we need to maintain our customer satisfaction. How do you see this balance?
There is a cycle of dynamics. You grow and then you stop. You face a bit internally, you do your homework, and then you grow again. It means that when we step up to a new step on the ladder, we need to a bit rethink our approaches internally. So we are not growing for the growth sake. We are growing because we are ambitious and we think we are doing something valuable on the world, and we would like to do it more in a scalable manner. Because if you're thinking about long term, you cannot let yourself deliver lower quality. It's about the brand. It's about the long term strategic collaboration, relationship with the customers. We have to maintain, even if we need to sacrifice the growth.
What do you see the next big step for Aliz in this data and AI world?
Simply the productization of our knowledge. I think it's the relationship towards knowledge is changing rapidly. And in the past, knowledge was in scarcity. So we had to very carefully appoint people or architects to different type of customers. And if we want to scale, and if we want to be relevant in the future, we need to somehow create a scalable version of our knowledge and best practices from the past. We did it already by developing Rabbit, which is a cost optimization tool. We had previously very similar projects right after each other, and we realized that it's something that we can productize, something that we can create a framework around that. And I think there are similar opportunities in the future, starting with our design framework, which is basically a productization of our mindset, how we start to work together with a client around data and AI. So nowadays, everyone would like to transform the enterprise to be an AI-driven enterprise. But there are different steps, different maturity steps that they have to go through. First, they need to make sure that the data platform are ready. They need to clear up their data, otherwise garbage in, garbage out to AI. And then they can introduce certain AI models and platforms. And just after that, they can introduce agentic workflows. And we have a framework that clearly identifies where are the customers in these maturity steps. This is something that we are building as an agent that either our sales guys can use, or we can release it to the public so customer can start to use it.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much.